Hi, I'm Mark Martin with the CBN NewsWatch update. The Sudanese mother condemned to die for refusing to renounce her Christian faith is back in custody. Caitlin Burke has details on her short-lived freedom and rearrest in our top story tonight.
Miriam Ibrahim's supporters are shocked, taken from jubilation at her release to devastation at her rearrest in less than 24 hours. Ibrahim and her husband, an American citizen, hope to start a new life together in the U.S. with their 2 children. But security forces stopped the couple at the airport in Khartoum, rearresting Ibrahim and taking her entire family into custody. Tina Ramirez is president of Hardwired, a nonprofit organization with legal contacts in Sudan.
We heard that she was given an emergency travel document to travel to South Sudan, and that her and Daniel and her 2 children were on their way there. But the national security said that she didn't have all of her proper paperwork and were detaining her for that reason.
Ibrahim had been sentenced to death for marrying a Christian and abandoning the Muslim faith. But a Sudanese appellate court overturned her conviction Monday and set her free. Ramirez says the chances are good that Ibrahim and her family will again be released. But even then, they're far from safe. Lawyers say they've already received many death threats.
There have been several threats in the local press and on social media by several people against Miriam and even against us, the defense team.
Ramirez says the family may be able to find safety in the U.S. through a procedure that would recognize Ibrahim as the wife of an American citizen. But she says the State Department should have acted sooner.
It's unfortunate that the U.S. Embassy didn't handle this process 3 years ago when Daniel applied originally. It's situations like this that help us to realize that you don't wait for an emergency to deal with something. You deal with it when, you should be preemptive in these situations. And there was definite negligence on the part of the State Department and Embassy for not dealing with it properly. And I think that should be investigated.
Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
Jordan Sekula with the American Center for Law and Justice joins us now with more. And Jordan, what can you tell us about Miriam's situation at this point?
Well, Mark, Miriam was at the airport, either departing to the United States directly or through South Sudan and then to the United States. And her paperwork was done by the U.S. government. There was some questions about whether she has her passport or not, and that she may not. But she was seized at the airport by the National Intelligence and Security Services of Sudan, who do not answer to criminal courts. They are outside the judicial system. They operate in the national security realm. They're known for torture. They've been called the agents of fear. And it wasn't just her that was taken back and rearrested. Her husband and those 2 children. So an American citizen has now been also put into custody. And there are questions, Mark, that this happened in front of and with U.S. officials present.
Wow. Well, what is the ACLJ doing next in its efforts to help with Miriam's case?
The first is to get all the facts and, of course, to keep people mobilized. We talked about this yesterday when Miriam was released from prison, that this wasn't over. We've been through this too many times in these cases of persecution in countries that are similar to Sudan when people are released, but that's not the end of the story. They're not safe yet. And here, again, it tracks what's happened before in these kind of cases, the rearrest here now by a different Sudanese government agency, and one that doesn't answer. As her attorney said today, they can't go to court on this. This is not a criminal matter. It's now a national security matter, and where they can indefinitely detain people.
Well, it seems like Secretary of State John Kerry recently issuing a statement condemning her imprisonment helped with the appeals court overturning Miriam's sentence. Sure. What should the U.S. government do now?
Well, you know, Mark, it was interesting because Secretary Kerry also issued a statement yesterday, like many of us did, praising what had happened and excited about the news that Miriam was released. And it was good news, but ultimately it wasn't over yet. And obviously, as we're talking about it, the State Department, not far from where I am in the CBN studios here in Washington, D.C., they know about the situation. They've got to speak out. And I'm not sure a written statement or a basic statement from the either Secretary of State and maybe even the President of the United States here. And that's because because they've now put a U.S. citizen into custody, and they did this in front of U.S. officials. If that proves to be true, that this was action taken where there were reports of about 40 security forces, these special forces, taking her away from U.S. officials, that this is not just an affront to Miriam Ibrahim's religious freedom in Sudan. It's not just an affront to her husband, it's an affront to the United States of America. And that's very serious when you take that kind of action with our diplomats present.
All right, Jordan Sekula with the ACLJ. Thanks so much for your time, Jordan.
Thank you, Mark.
A heated hearing over lost emails in the investigation of the IRS for targeting conservative groups. The emails belong to former IRS employee Lois Lerner, but it was the IRS commissioner in the hot seat. Charlene Aaron has the story.
It's time for a special prosecutor so we can get to the truth and get past this sham of an investigation that the Justice Department is doing.
But IRS Chairman John Koskinen brushed aside accusations that the IRS has obstructed investigations into the targeting of Tea Party and other groups, even while Republicans challenged his credibility. Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio challenged Koskinen during the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee hearing Monday night. He says the scandal is out of control, with the lost emails just another example. Congressman Doug Collins told Koskinen the whole thing isn't sitting well with Republicans, more and more Democrats, and the American people.
They have a pretty good meter. And the meter right now, both Democrats that I know and Republicans I know, has just gotten full. This story is just becoming more implausible as it goes. It crashes at a certain time. We can't find it at a certain time. No one was told about it at a certain time.
But several Democrats on the committee say there is evidence that the emails were lost when Lois Lerner's computer hard drive crashed. And Koskinen said Congress will get all of the emails the IRS has. He added that he never said Congress could have emails the IRS no longer has. Some Democrats say Republicans are just looking for a conspiracy where there may not be one.
Because there's an agenda that presupposes some guilt that is based in part on supposition, on paranoia, on conspiracy theory, all of which fires up the base of the other party.
But many Republicans, including committee chairman Darrell Issa, say the IRS has been stonewalling, and some, like Congressman Jordan, say a special prosecutor is long overdue. And they say it's ridiculous that the investigation into the Tea Party scandal is headed by someone who's given money to President Obama's political campaigns.
The fact that Barbara Bosserman, a max-out contributor to the president's campaign, is running this investigation is a joke. It is wrong. The fact that the FBI leaks to the Wall Street Journal on January 13th of this year that no one's going to be prosecuted is wrong. And the fact that the President of the United States, the highest official in the executive branch, goes on national television and says there's no corruption, not even a smidgen, is wrong.
Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
Secretary of State John Kerry is visiting leaders in Iraqi Kurdistan today. He hopes the more stable government and its leaders there can help bring calm to Iraq and see the country avoid a civil war. CBN's Chris Mitchell has more from Erbil, the capital of Kurdistan.
The Maliki-led Iraqi government in Baghdad is weak. Its army has imploded in many places, and much of Iraq has disintegrated. Now some wonder if this is the time for the Kurds.
This is the colorful open-air market in the heart of Erbil, with the historic citadel in the background. The Kurds have a long history, and now many feel they may be at the crossroads of independence and statehood.
Yes, surely, this is our old dream, a very old dream for us, for the whole Kurdish people. We would love to see it, and now is the right time for the Kurdish people to have their independent state. Yes, it's the right time. Because the Iraqi people didn't accept us as Muslims, as Shiite or Sunni or as brothers. So because they didn't accept us as brothers, that time is over. And this is why I think it's the right time to declare an independent state for the Kurds.
The British and French established the current borders of Iraq after World War I, the famous Sykes-Picot Agreement. It's possible the current crisis will split Iraq into 3 regions: Sunni, Shiite, and Kurdish. Kurdish officials say declaring a state would be hard. but that they've earned the right.
The independence of Kurdistan is dependent on the real situation. I do believe that the path of getting independence is covered with mines. We cannot actually step into it. But the reality proves and shows the outside world that this nation is really worthy to get independence.
Former governor and presidential hopeful Mike Huckabee says a Kurdish state would be good for the region.
The Kurds really are the one group of people in all of Iraq that America should be grateful for and trying to help. They could create a stable government and a sensible, sane government. And I think we should do everything humanly possible to encourage at least one piece of that region to be stable.
It's a historic time for the Middle East. If the Kurds do declare a state, they'll begin to redraw the borders of a new Middle East. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Erbil, Northern Iraq.
Coming up, for years we've been told that marriages have a 50-50 shot at till death do us part. And for years we've been lied to. We've got good news about the state of our unions. Ephraim Graham and Charlene Aaron are back with that story and more after this.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. If you're on Medicare and have knee pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost. Friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. Call the Health Hotline right now for details toll-free. Our friendly representatives are standing by now to take your call. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. You may be eligible to receive these items and more at little or no cost to you as well. Call right now for details toll-free.
Operators are standing by. Call 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143. Again, 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Well, you've heard it said over and over, half of all marriages end in divorce, and things are just as bad in the church as in the rest of the country.
There's just one problem. It simply is not true. And the fact that fact can have a dramatic impact on keeping marriages together. Paul Strand brings us this story.
Harvard-trained researcher Shanti Feldhahn decided to tackle long-held beliefs about divorce to hopefully right some wrongs. She says just the idea that it's as bad in the church as the rest of the world can demoralize Christians.
For a pastor, it means all my work doesn't mean very much. You know, for the average person in a congregation, there's this subtle feeling like, if that's true, if on something as important as marriage, doing what the Bible says doesn't change anything, what does that mean about the Bible?
Virginia pastor Daniel Floyd sees how this can hurt the faith.
Because the 50% divorce rate inside the church really just said the church makes no difference in your marriage. And that's quite an indictment on the church.
Christian psychotherapist Angel Davis says the belief half of all marriages fail can even give people permission to give up.
When you have like a statistic like 50%, it gives you the option. It's like becomes an option in your mind.
Feldhahn spent 8 years investigating the real numbers, and in her book, The Good News About Marriage, lays out what she found. First, the divorce rate is way below 50% and much lower for those who attend church. Feldhahn estimates the overall divorce rate for the country is around 31%. And she says the studies of people who regularly go to church all show a much lower divorce rate for them.
Maybe 15%, maybe 20% for all marriages. First marriages, second marriages, third marriages. Pastors need to know this. People need to be able to look around the average congregation and say, you know what, most of these people will have strong and happy marriages for a lifetime. Doing what God says matters. That is a big deal to know.
Feldhahn cites one example where a pastor tracked 143 couples who he had married.
It was 25, 27 years later, less than 10% had been divorced.
Therapist Davis says this could go a long way to erasing the doubt that Christianity makes no difference.
That there's no power in it to transform. And that is just not true. So those statistics, I think, could help a lot with that belief.
Pastor Floyd believes it'll be a major plus for the faith when this new knowledge gets around.
But if you have regular church attendance, then it's going to make a difference in the longevity of your marriage. I think that is incredible firepower, so to speak, for the local church, for the pastor.
Feldhahn says she's seen the power of this new information when she shares it to immediately pump up a congregation's faith.
You hear this gasp go through the congregation because and everybody starts applauding, and it's like you can see hope coming back into their eyes.
Shanti's husband Jeff says such hope can be crucial in helping a couple actually survive.
I mean, Shanti and I have hit tough patches, but we never once thought that we weren't going to make it. We knew we were going to. So you work through the tough patches and you move on to the other side, and the other side is always good.
Feldhahn says people can make other choices to divorce-proof their marriage. An example?
People who decide not to live together before they get married. That has been proven to have a really good effect on the marriage. And so you might get down into the 5-10% divorce odds.
Now Feldhahn and others hope people will spread the word.
To be able to get this information into other people's hands quickly, I really think we can change the paradigm from discouragement to hope.
Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from Atlanta.
Up next, meet a couple who adopted an embryo. Their child is now 15 years old, and she'll tell what it's like to be a snowflake baby. It's coming up after this.
Stop living with hair loss, that is. Losing your hair is no fun, and no one wants to be bald, but there is hope.
Getting my hair back was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm happy with the way I look now.
I'm very excited about my hair.
I feel beautiful.
I love my hair.
Hair Club offers all proven hair loss solutions backed by our commitment to satisfaction guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied with the solution you choose, Hair Club will apply the purchase price to another proven hair loss solution or transplant more hair at no charge.
It was the best thing I've ever done.
It looks good on me.
Call in the next 5 minutes to get your free brochure at no obligation. It will tell you everything you need to know about your hair loss problem, and it's free if you call now.
I am more pleased than what I had even imagined.
I at least look, I would say, 5 years younger.
I'm 52, and I look better now than I did when I was in my 40s.
I feel great.
And that's not all. The first 100 people who call will also receive $250 off any hair loss solution from Hair Club. Call now.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. If you're on Medicare and have knee pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost. Friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. Call the Health Hotline right now for details toll-free. Our friendly representatives are standing by now to take your call. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. You may be eligible to receive these items and more at little or no cost to you as well. Call right now for details toll-free.
Operators are standing by. Call 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143. Again, 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143.
They're frozen in storage labs and at clinics across America. Thousands of embryos, unborn babies left over from fertility treatments.
And they're usually donated to science or destroyed. But as Caitlin Burke reports, a Christian adoption agency is offering another option, a chance at life.
Welcome to the Nightlight Christian Adoption Agency, home to the Snowflake Program.
The Snowflake Program is an embryo adoption program that allows people who have embryos in frozen storage to offer those embryos to another couple for adoption.
When a couple chooses to freeze their embryos, they're stored in cryotanks like these. There's no limit on how long an embryo can be frozen. Some have even been stored for more than 15 years and still resulted in successful pregnancies. John and Marlene Strieg became the first couple to adopt an embryo through the Snowflake program.
We feel like we honored God because we did adopt an embryo that already existed. We had nothing to do with her creation. She needed a home. We needed a child.
3 adopted embryos were transferred to Marlene on April 11, 1998. On December 31st, Hannah was born.
When I saw her, I just thought that she was the most beautiful baby I'd ever seen.
Now a healthy and happy 15-year-old, Hannah learned about her unique story at an early age.
She was about 5 and in kindergarten, and they were planting seeds.
My mom had bought this package of seeds, and she planted them and froze them, and she's like, that was you. You were frozen. You were a frozen seed. And we put that seed in my tummy to grow.
So she had that visualization and visual concept of a seed and how tiny a seed is. And she was so tiny. And I used to say, and only God could see you. You were so tiny. And she used to say, Mommy, tell me that part of the story again. Tell me about how tiny I was. Come, Lord Jesus, be our guest. Once you have your child, all the pieces fit together. And you're going, oh, that's where my child was at.
On average, 1 snowflake baby is born every 10 days. Still, there are a very limited number of people who know about frozen embryo adoption, and the number of embryos going into storage continues to rise.
We believe that life begins at conception, which means as soon as the embryo is created. And for many of these, or for these embryos, they've been placed in frozen storage, and that process of developing, being born, growing into adulthood, has been halted and interrupted.
Tom and Annabelle Peterson wanted life for their extra embryos. After years of trying to get pregnant, they were successful with in vitro, and then blessed with a surprise.
Our firstborn was Andy, and we had him in 2007. So after that, a year after Andy was born, I found out I was pregnant.
After the birth of their second son, Lucas, the Petersons decided to stop trying to conceive. But God had other plans.
So a year later, after Lucas was born, I found out I was pregnant with Louisa. So in 4 years, we had 3 kids.
Still, 6 of Tom and Annabelle's embryos remained frozen. After much individual prayer, they decided together to donate those embryos for adoption.
It would break my heart knowing that I was giving up on the child and letting go of the child, and it broke my heart. But then I realized, and it just came to me, is that that's my selfishness.
It's almost like I heard a voice, or call it a conscious thought, or God speaking to me, they're not yours, Annabelle. And that thought just came to my heart, and it just gave me such peace.
God matched Tom and Annabelle's donated embryos with parents that could give them life. Meet Amos. He's biologically the Petersons, but his parents are Bert and Karina.
They're just wonderful people. Yeah. Oh my goodness. They're so happy, and just seeing them with that child and just knowing what they're experiencing, and it's just beautiful.
Amos's parents agreed to an open adoption, so Tom and Annabelle are able to watch as he grows. You have so much joy and so much peace from your decision, but is there still some pain?
When he gets old enough and sees that, he realizes that that's not his biological dad, and he's going to go, well, who's my real biological parents? And if he has this thought that like his parents don't love him, didn't love him, and they gave him up, it's like, I think about that, I'm like,
that hurts.
It's so far from the truth. Because I love the kid so much, and it's not even, I'm not the father to the kid, but I love him so much, and that pains me that he might experience that.
Tom and Annabelle say that just as with the children they gave birth to, they've always loved their embryos. And it's because of that love that they chose to give them life. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, San Diego, California.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
The Jesus Film is one of the greatest tools ever created to share the gospel. Every 8 seconds somewhere in the world, someone makes a decision to follow Christ after watching it.
And that is exactly what happened to a boy in India named Batu. And he got the chance to see the movie thanks to a ministry of CBN.
High in the mountains of western India, one village is so remote that many people here have never seen a movie. So when Batu heard that CBN was going to come and show the Jesus Film, he couldn't wait to see it.
I saw a true story about how Jesus suffered for mankind so we could be saved. I immediately gave my heart to the Lord and I started going to church.
Batu's mother had been suffering from a disease that gave her severe back pain for about a month. So Batu decided to try something he had never done before.
In the film, I saw Jesus perform many miracles. So I decided to ask the pastor to pray with me for my mom's back to be healed.
She was healed, and Batu's faith in Jesus increased. Soon after that, he was baptized.
I felt like all my sins were washed away, and I had become a new creation in Christ. I left all the bad things behind, and my new life began. I will share my joy with my family, and in time, they will also believe in Jesus.
Amen. And the story doesn't end with Batu. The church in his village doubled in size, so CBN donated a projector to pastors there. Now he's traveling to other villages showing the Jesus Film and leading even more people to Christ.
Oh, how beautiful. I had an opportunity to visit Campus Crusade, who produces the film. They've updated the film as celebrating its 35th anniversary.
Wow.
It's been seen more than 6 billion times.
6 billion.
Oh, powerful film.
Praise God for
Powerful
that.
indeed.
Amen. Well, that's it for now on CBN News Today. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com.
Take the time to tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do it on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Make it a terrific Tuesday, everybody.